So I don't know. I'm not convinced I'm helping her really. I don't know. She might say different, but and then on a positive note, I think, well, she went to that women's centre, even though it moved, she did go.
Yeah.
And then I talked to her at the end about looking at some, because she won about her confidence and her self-esteem, so I talked about her looking at some courses that were available. Where would she go and find them? And she was coming up with library and children's centre. Because all the courses I say that she's booked herself on to are to do with the children. You know, they're all in school. So I said, what about you? What time have you got for you? So that's how we left it really, that she was going to maybe look at what were available, whether, you know. I mean, she did go to a women's centre, so she may do.
So it sounds like you've had some small successes, although maybe you're not recognising them so much as coaching successes.
Yeah, I suppose I probably wanted her to have a better goal, do you know what I mean, then?
You wanted to have a better goal?
Because, her goals were unrealistic. I wanted to start with. I want to go back to work, but I can't because my health's not good enough, and I want my daughter to move out and look after my children, but she can't. Though I thought, God, you know, where do we start with? And it's taken 2 sessions to break it down to say, well, these aren't.
Yeah, it might
realistic.
take more.
Yeah,
it might take 5.
Because she still said to me, there's a house coming up for rent on the estate where she's at for £400 a week, and she's thinking of renting it. I just said, so how are you going to do that financially then? And she said, I don't know. And I said, but I thought we'd discussed that you wouldn't want your daughter living on her own. Well, it'd be all right because it's next door, but one, do you know what I mean? So she's a bit all over the place, really. I think she's looking for things she can't achieve. I mean, you know, the rent alone, she can't afford to pay that, neither can her daughter. It's all sort of a bit pie in the sky, but...
So, are you finding that you want to narrow her goals down?
Well, I tried it
but
last
you're finding it difficult?
Yeah, because she'll add those bits back in. Just before I went, she decided to tell me that this house has come up to rent. It's a private landlord, and, you know, she'd like her daughter to move in there. And then says, but her daughter doesn't want to move out. She wants to move out, the daughter doesn't.
Okay.
So it is...
So would you describe it as being productive in any way, the input that you're giving her?
Well, she's gone to Women's Centre. Unfortunately, that upset her because she then met that person who had a double mastectomy, and there was something to do with a lift. I'm guessing she didn't like lifts. But I thought, if I get into that, I'm going to get into all this stuff about, you know, I'll be going off on a total different tangent. And it's really hard for me to ignore that. I just ignored it. And it didn't like me, that. I would have said, why, you know. I knew if I said...
So you didn't do. So that's good, isn't it? Then
yeah, but I found it hard.
You didn't do the exploratory. Tell me more about that.
No, because I just knew we'd be going down a road of something's happened in a lift and she's got claustrophobia, and we'd be on that for half an hour and we wouldn't get any further.
Yeah.
But I did find it hard just to ignore, and I found it quite hard to ignore it when she said she was depressed.
Yeah.
For a while, you know, I just thought, well, I should be saying to her, well, what are you doing about that then? You know, have you been to your GP? And I thought, and it's so hard to keep my mouth shut.
I think it's okay with somebody like that to just make a note of those issues and try and revisit them at the end, or say can we come back to that, but can we stay?
I think she said it herself after a while. You see, she then said she'd started counselling, and it had opened up a lot of things about bereavements and her past and her domestic violence. So I think she sort of answered it later on.
But also, she'd not initiated any counselling until this coaching had happened.
No, but she apparently were on a waiting list for it.
Oh, right, okay. Okay. So, that's that one, and the other one hasn't got back to you? Okay.
I did think that would help, I'll have to see.
Okay, well, we'll look at referrals at the end. Okay. Thank you, ladies.
Desperate to speak.
Yeah, go ahead, Jan. You can speak.
That was really interesting. I'm not quite sure, because we're quite a small group, you can get what you want to out of today, it seems to strike me. So I was just really interested listening to that, because I thought it sounded really quite sort of positive. I don't like the word positive. It sounds like you're both coaching, even though it's not yet easy. You're very honest about your state of coach and how it's not always easy to stay in the coaching framework. You want to go into social work framework, and for you, the uncertainty of am I really doing something or another. There's some things on language that I noticed I'm going to pick up later if we do NLP focus, because I think that's quite interesting. I was curious as to what your goals are and your clients' goals. And with you, I was interested that you wanted to narrow her goals down. I wanted to know, I wondered if you'd yet identified her abstract goals. So if she wants a house she can't afford and she wants time and all, what does that achieve for her? What is it that she really wants? Because if you remember, when we go up that goal ladder, we get to something that if she can't afford the house, how many other ways are there to get some of that then? Do you remember that stuff?
I think I broke it down that she wants time for her, really.
Yeah, well, I liked that sort of that came down. So then the question would be, so how many ways are there to get time for you? So I heard a bit of suggestion. I think you both sort of used words suggestion. You seem to hold back, but you know, kind of aware of the vulnerability of your client thing. So I was just interested. So I was interested in some of your beliefs as to what a social worker should or shouldn't do, and I think your question came up there. Or would a social worker do that? You know, kind of stuff like that. Yes. So I was just curious and impressed with what you're doing, and aware of some refinements that you might make, which I know you are, which is why you're here. Yeah. And a couple of things I might come back to later if we do what we're going to do with NLP. How are you doing?
Okay.
Are you seeing clients as well?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. So those are my comments. It was just the clarity of the goal ladder and the depth of empathic responding that you might or might not be giving. I wasn't clear on either in terms of what you said. I came across some research recently which excited me. Do you remember on the course, and Graham and I were very into name the beast with the empathy, you know, so instead of just sympathising or letting people be upset or happy, actually specifically naming what it is that person's feeling. And there's lots of sort of neuroscience stuff coming out at the moment, which I'm enjoying, because it's kind of confirming some things we've been doing for a long time. And one of the things is that if you name the feeling, if you get the person who is in what's the word, kind of high affect, which tends to be emotions that they don't find useful, when they name that feeling, it affects their amygdala in the brain, and it reduces their level of stress and anxiety straight away. I thought that was a brilliant piece of research. So I don't know how specifically you're helping somebody to, you know, so you feel disappointed that you can't have that house, you feel, you know, frustrated, you feel desperate, whatever it is people are feeling. I don't know to what degree you're doing that from what you've said here, but for what it's worth, I think that's a really nice piece of information that we now know attaches to the body as well as just the word. And NLP, which we're looking at today, is all about that mix between how your language affects your brain, affects your neurology, affects your physiology, and comes round in a circle. So that's my splurge of all the things that were going through my head when you guys were talking, but for what it's worth.
Well, that's good. Right, I've stopped the recording now, so go into training mode.
Sorry, I'm a bit gravelly.
No, that's all right, but thank you everybody for sharing that. And Jess, when you just said, I don't think I've really got anything to say.
Yes, that's what
Just total rubbish.